Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you want more weekly updates. In this video, we are going to see about relative pronoun. Let's get into the video. What is relative pronoun? A relative pronoun is used to connect a class or phrase to a noun or pronoun. You see them used every day with the most common relative pronouns being who, whom, which, whoever, whomever, whichever, and that. Example: Peter is the one who gifted me a scarf. It is made up of a fabric that is very soft. Here, who and that are relative pronouns. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that introduces to a relative class. It is called a relative pronoun because it relates to the word that its relative class modifies. Here is an example. The person who phones me last night is my teacher. In the above example, who relates to the person which who phoned me last night modifies. Introduces the relative class who phoned me last night. Let's see what is a relative pronoun. A relative pronoun is used to join or relate two different classes together by referring to the noun in the previous class using the pronouns who, whom, whose, which, and that. So, let's see what is the rules to be followed using relative pronoun. Which and that are generally used for objects, while who and whom are used for people, and whose is used to show possession. Let's see in detail. There are five relative pronouns: who, whom, whose, which, that. Who for subject and whom for object are generally only for people. Whose is for possession. Which is for things that can be used for things and people only in defining relative classes. So, the relative pronouns are who, which, whose, whom, and that. Let's see one by one in detail. First one is who. We use who in relative classes to refer to people who can act as the subject or the subject of the relative class. Example: Mrs. Smith, who has a lot of teaching experience at junior level, will be joining tomorrow. Here, Mrs. Smith is a person who relates to the subject, that is Mrs. Smith. So, we are using here who. Let's see another example. She needs to know by tomorrow who will be accompanying her on the trip. Here, who stands for the unknown person and it also joins the two different classes together. That is, she needs to know by tomorrow will be accompanying her on the trip. That is two relative classes. So, it is joined by who. Who refers to the unknown person here. Who relates to the people, that is subject. He is the doctor who cured me. Here who represents to the doctor and also he. I told you about the woman who lives next door. Here who represents to the object. Let's see the next relative pronoun, that is which. Example: she will choose the color which looks good on everyone. Here, which is joining the two related classes, choosing color and a color which would look good on everyone. Which refers to the things and animals. We can use which or that. The movie Which or That I watched yesterday is perfect. Which represents to the subject or object pronoun for animals and things. Example: do you see the cat which is lying on the roof? Here which represents to the cat. The next is that. There is a car in the parking lot that someone has painted a bright pink. That is joining the two sentences related to the object and its location in the first and its appearance in the second. That refers to the subject or object pronoun for people, animals, and things in defining relative classes. Who or which are also possible. Example, I don't like the table that stands in the kitchen. Here, that refers to the table. We use that instead of who, whom, or which in relative classes to refer people, animal, and things. That is more formal than who, whom, or which. That can act as the subject or the object of the relative class. Next is whom. Whom also represents to the people as an object. Example, the girl to whom you gave the book is my sister. Let's see in detail. Example, I was invited by the professor whom I met at the conference. Here, whom represents to the professor. Whom is also used with preposition at whom, for whom, with whom, by whom, to whom, from whom. Next one we are going to see is whose. Example, is there anyone here whose mobile phone has a signal? Here, whose is used to ask if anyone has possession of something that the speaker needs. That is, whose mobile phone, anyone's mobile phone, like that. Let's see in detail. We usually use whose as a relative pronoun to indicate possession by people and animal. She is the girl whose father is a doctor. Here, whose father? That girl's father. So here, whose is the possession, that is of her father. Let's see the difference between who and whom. If the answer is he, use who. If the answer is him, use whom. Whose, that is apostrophe is. Who is அல்லது who has. Who has done with the test. Who is hungry right now. Who's belonging to whom. Whose iPhone may I borrow. Whose baby is that. Thanks for listening to the video. Subscribe the channel if you want more weekly updates. Currently, click the bell icon for updates.